what answers will the Lions have in South Africa in 2009. Here's Mike Blair with the first take, and a chance at last for these players to begin their tour, and for Blair, the man who has added to the squad, not the best start. Dasson waits and leaves it to Pretorius. Oh, Cox come through there, and he's trying to get there and get the ball down on the line. They think he's scored. Has the captain done it for the team? Yes, he has. Well, he's waving the flag all right. The Royal 15 flag and the South African national flag too. Right in the face of the Lions.
Decoy runners confused the Lions here. Joe Worsley makes the tackle, but you can see there Sheridan tackles the wrong man in effect, and Cox come really well there, reaches for the line. Here's the decoy coming there. Sheridan needs to step in for the other man. There's a little hole opened up, and the captain goes over there. Dynamic finish there. It is not the start the Lions expected, but all of that stems from an error as Wilhelm Kok scores only the third senior try of his career. You have to say that all goes back to an unforced error from Keith Earls.
Barnes does a lot better than Matthew Rees there at the line out with an accurate throw. He was good in the loose, now he rejoins the tight, the number 2. There he is, right at the base of the maul, which now cannot be legally pulled down. But he's not just at the base, he's gone over the try line to score the second try for the Royal 15. Now the Lions have to come to terms with what is happening out here and do something about it pretty swiftly.
Well, this is now an undreamt of start for the home teams. They were confident of putting up a big show, but 18 points to 3 up. Barnes goes over, and it's way too easy there. I know the Lions have been together for 2 weeks, but they're driven backwards at will. Players go to ground, Sheridan's on the floor, and Barnes sees a hole, and he bursts through it. The gaps are too big, there's too many, the errors are huge. It is a wonderful start, and full credit to the Royal 15. But the Lions have been woeful in this first 27 minutes.
Maybe not. Maybe they were thinking it. Because they have played with confidence. They've certainly gone for it every time that they've had a chance. Here's O'Connell again. Blair. O'Gara to Bow. Is this it? It is! The first try on tour for the Lions. Now that is something worth treasuring forever, but the Lions here living in the now, and boy did they need that score.
Far more important in the moment than the memory. That's Tommy Bow at his best, and that's also very fine from O'Gara. The fly half gets onto the game line there, he draws defenders, and Bow picks those angles from wide to in so well. Like his Osprey colleague Shane Williams, they're probably at their best off the wing. Different sorts of player. Williams, he's all bounce and he's all jink, but this guy Bow, he's a hard-running man whose timings are excellent, and we'll see this try again now and watch Ronan O'Gara fade out, and there he comes. You can see that's a lovely timing on the ball. It takes Kutsia out of it, it opens up a hole, and Bow's got the pace to go through. 18-10 at half-time, very different to 18-3. Did the Lions ever need that?
Certainly caught the eye of his coach today, Tjokke Willemse. Here's Phil Young looking for what could be that all-important score now. We're into that area of the match. And here's Van Rensburg with Matthew Rees trying to tackle. There's Robenheimer. Oh, he's got away from the first man, and he's really travelling here. Gets the ball inside, Landman the replacement. The Lighthouse was almost over the line. Now it's the Ox, it's Roux, and it's the referee to award it. This could be a history-making day, not just for that man, but for the Royal 15. They're on the edge of victory against the British and Irish Lions.
Oh, that was superb there. Again, the Lions were stretched. The crowd are celebrating. There's rhythm in the stands, there's rhythm on the pitch. You wouldn't say Pierce Roos is the most rhythmic man, but Sean Edwards looks on. 3 tries conceded. We're going to the video ref, but you don't need more than one view in there. The prop forward, he's had a torrid time in the scrums, but he has got over there.
through the hands of Williams. Has a second go. Byrne, one of those players still out there. And he volleys on himself, and he might take this, Lee Byrne. A little bit of fortune maybe, plenty of skill too, and Lee Byrne immediately gets one back for the Lions. Just what the doctor ordered for them.
Well, you make your luck. He's been by a distance the Lions' most impressive performer this half. I think we keep talking about him, but every minute or so his kicking game being those boomers, those little chips, well then the football skill after the high ball, so telling. He is leading from the back. It's all very wobbly in the leadership stakes elsewhere, but Byrne is carrying the Lions.
The maul is back all right, and the Lions are trying to use it. Mike Phillips.
Phillips' zone.
Mike Phillips throws the dummy, looks to use his strength. You can see his head down there, but we can't see the ball. Now it's back. It's another drive for the line. Agonisingly close here, the Lions. That's Alan Wynne-Jones, and is that down? It's in front of the referee. The Lions are celebrating the try that could well have saved them. There's no doubt the quicker that they get into their stride in games like these, the greater the chance of success come the Test series. Well, they haven't been in their stride at all today. Today has come down to just winning the match, and that try might well have done just that.
Well, in the paradoxical sort of way, if the Lions do go and win this game, it might not be a bad thing. It's going to just tell them how hard it is if they didn't know. They must have had a pretty good inkling. We know how strong the Boks are, but every game leading up to it. And isn't it amazing, you know, we talked about the errors of the Lions. That
the Royal 15 here would do it. Here's Phillips again, Martin Williams.
Great
inside
ball.
It goes, it is a great ball, it is a try, it's Ronan O'Gara, and the Lions finish with an attacking flourish. It's game done now, at last.
I don't think Martin Williams has been at his best, but that was wonderful from Williams. The way he just eased towards the touchline to create the space for O'Gara. And I must say, we mentioned O'Gara then, he's played really well in this second half. The best of Martin Williams. He pulled Coetzee one way, opened the hole for O'Gara, and he's in. It's been a good finish from the Lions. It has been a disappointing performance. I don't know who the host will make their man of the match. Mine is certainly going to be, as we see one Welshman give a pass, another one. I think Lee Byrne has made himself the strongest of contenders for the Test team. I think O'Gara went well, Roberts well, Tommy Bowe as well. Apart from that, it hasn't been a great day for the Lions, but it's a rude awakening. They have the win they needed, they have had the jolt, the tour goes on. We head towards Joburg.
And Ronan O'Gara lands the conversion victory on day one. It's what we all expected to say, but not the game that we expected to see. The Lions put a bit of polish on it at the end, but in truth, for the large section of this match, it was the Royal 15 that we were admiring and talking about. They put everything into their big day, but it wasn't enough to win the match. The Lions are victors, but they will know that there is still an awful lot to work on, and there are bigger tasks to come as well, much bigger. On Wednesday, the Lions meet the Lions, the Golden Lions at Ellis Park, which is set to be sold out.